Do you get a stiff and painful mid-back and even neck and shoulders where traditional stretching only provides temporary relief? Nobody has a half hour to go through a bunch of random stretches to find only temporary relief. Based on clinical experience of working with thousands of patients, I made this daily mobility routine where you flow through a handful of exercises to teach your body to unlock its range of motion so it actually sticks. Use this 5-minute daily mobility routine to move better, feel better, and perform better. All right, so let's get into it. With this routine, it is step by step, so it's important to start with the first step and then go into the next as they do roll into one into the other. And then make sure you stick around at the end because I have a great routine for desk workers or anybody that really sits where you can work on your mid-back mobility in the comfort of your own chair. So this whole routine, we're gonna go into a developmental or baby position called low kneeling from dynamic neuromuscular stabilization. So what that looks like is sort of like a plank, but in a way, but it's on your forearms and on your knees. Now don't confuse this with a child's pose position. We're not sitting the butt back into the heels. We're actually gonna rock forward so that our knees are underneath the hips, and you want the knees a little bit wider than hips. The next step is that we're gonna make a diamond with our hands and our elbows kind of like this. I'm gonna place that right in front of me. My elbows will be in line with my ears. This is the basic position, and then we can start getting into the mid-back mobility. So the first exercise we're gonna do, I call the baby cat-cow. So if you're familiar with a cat-cow, where it's just rounding and arching, we're gonna do that same thing in this low kneeling position. And we're gonna focus on the mid-back and not the low back or the neck as much. So I want you to think about your heart or in between the shoulder blades, that's where the movement is coming from. So we'll start with first rounding the spine. And then we're gonna do the opposite, drop the heart down and flatten the spine as best you can. Make sure your shoulders are away from your ears. Let's round it and flatten. I forget which one's the cat, which one's the cow, but whatever. We're gonna round and flatten, right? Notice my head's not moving too much. I'm not sticking my booty way out or tucking it. I'm really focusing on just my mid-back or rib cage. We're gonna cycle through this about 10 times. So we'll drop down to flatten and round. Drop down, flatten, and round. And then once we've got that, now we're going to work on some extra mobility in the neck because our neck is a part of our mid-back. It's really important we get that too. So with this basic position, we're gonna do a few more little cues here. So what I want you to do is think about shrugging your shoulders up and then shrug them down towards your back pockets and keep them locked there. Next, I'd like you to tuck your chin. And if you notice this position, my back is pretty flat. Last but not least, you might have a little bit of roundedness in your mid-back. I want you to try and drop your heart out of your chest down toward the floor while maintaining those shoulder blades down towards your back pocket and tucking the chin. And also make sure you're not sticking your butt way out. If you feel some low back tightness, we're cheating through there. You don't want that. So I'm gonna flatten on my back by tucking my tailbone, tuck the chin, shoulder blades down. Lastly, my heart dropping down. As you can see here, I can feel this a ton in my mid-back, and I've got a relatively flat or straight spine. Now that I have this, I'm gonna keep that chin tucked, and now start to let the tuck go by looking up and coming back down. This is tight, but if it's painful, don't force it, just kiss the pain. And I'm gonna relax it, and now I'm gonna just let everything go and round and drop my head down. And then I'm gonna bring my chin back in, shoulder blades down, heart out of my chest, flatten out, and then lift the head up. Make sure you're breathing, and then relax it. Same thing, we'll do 10 in a row. So that was 2, so we'll do 3, tuck the chin, shoulder blades down, heart down, lift the head up, and then drop. Let's repeat this a few more times. Up and down. Good, chin tuck, look up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 10. Okay, next step, we're gonna do some rocking. So we're gonna get into that position again where the shoulder blades are down, chin tucked, heart out of the chest, and that flat spine. And now we're gonna add some rocking. And with this, you're just maintaining that flat spine, rocking back and forth, making sure you're not losing position where your butt is dumping under. When you rock forward, you don't want your low back to arch. You wanna keep everything flat, almost like you're balancing, something on your back, and you're just rocking back and forth. So we'll do that 10 times. We already had 5, so we'll call this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Good. Next step, we're going to add some reaching. So from here, we're going to do is I'm gonna take my right arm, maintaining this same position, and I'm gonna reach forward and then on an angle. So if I'm in a clock, this is 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock's over here, 11 o'clock's over here, I'm reaching toward 11 o'clock. So I'm maintaining position, and I'm gonna start to reach toward 11 o'clock, and I'm opening up my right side. You should feel a lat stretch in there, but I'm not losing spinal position. And then back. And then I'll switch to the left side. I'm gonna reach toward 1 o'clock. Let the arm just kind of slide on the ground. Don't lift the elbow up. I'm gonna reach and bring it back. Whew. And I'm going other side and back. Good, really focusing on maintaining that neutral flat spine. Good, we'll go 5 each side to get 10 total. Good. And then next step is we're gonna do is some rotation. So from here, it's a little tougher. This can be pretty difficult for some people. So let's try this out. So we're gonna maintain same position. I'm gonna take my hand, put it behind my neck, elbow out, keep that chin in. And I'm gonna really try and rotate my spine as best I can without cheating. So this is about as far as I can go. And I feel a ton of my mid-back. If I'm cheating through this, what it's gonna look like is like this here. I'm actually just cheating through my hips and my low back, or I'm cheating through my arm here. You really want to think that your elbow stays long, and your arm is attached to your trunk, and you're just rotating your spine on an axis, right? Like you're twirling a pencil. Rotate, 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 and come back. And we can either do 5 or 10 there, and we can switch sides. We can alternate if you want. Make sure good position. Again, shoulder blades down, chin tucked, heart out of the chest. And then I'm gonna reach my left arm out, our hand behind the neck, and we're gonna do the same rotation here. Whew, man, it's tough. Back down, chin tucked, and rotate. Good. And we'll do one more here. Notice what I'm doing, and I'm not cheating like this. You shouldn't be able to get that high or looking way toward the ceiling. And come back down. And last but not least, what we can do is we can stabilize now a little bit more and challenge our core. When we train our core in this position, now we're really locking in a lot of these mobility changes. So same low kneeling position here, and now watch me here. It's called a low bear. So it's a mix between this position and the bear position. I'm gonna maintain this. So again, shoulder blades down, diamond here, elbows about the ear level, chin tucked, drop the heart down, good position. And I'm simply gonna lift my knees off the ground just a little bit, as long as I'm fine here. And you're not shrugging up, that's what's gonna happen. Keep those shoulders down. You come up a little bit higher, a little higher, right? Don't lose position of the back, low back. And then from here, I'm just gonna hold and breathe. See if I can do like 30 seconds, but if you're cheating through it, take a break. And if you're really up to it, you can do some low bear rocking, which is super tough. I'm getting a little sweat on, which you run through that. That's easily less than 5 minutes. Perform that twice a day. This is for beginners and advanced, but do what you can do. Don't force through pain. Repeat this at least once a day, if not twice a day. And in a matter of a few weeks, you'll notice a difference. Actually, a few days, you can notice a difference. But when you start really getting sustainable change that's noticeable in your daily activity, you gotta give us at least 6 weeks. Now look, I get it. Not everyone can lay on the ground and do stuff like this. So if you want a mobility routine for your mid-back that you can do anywhere, sitting in a chair, check out my desk worker mobility routine right here, where we go through mid-back, but also neck, low back, and hips. It's awesome. You can do that anywhere.